Hi there and welcome to the EWC. Today we'll be taking a look at two incredible Seiko 5 watches, the SNXS79 that I personally own and the SNK793 on loan to me from a friend. Seiko 5 watches are designed to be affordable entry points into the world of mechanical timepieces. I know it's how I personally got into this hobby. So let's have a look at what Seiko can offer at or around the $100 price point. We'll see whether these watches really are the ultimate entryway for anybody to get into timepieces, and if they are a great addition to a growing affordable watch collection. Let's have a closer look. Here we are with two Seiko 5 watches. We have the SNXS79 on the right and the SNK793 on the left. This is my personal Seiko 5. It is actually the first automatic watch that I ever owned, and as you can see, it is quite a handsome guy. It's on its factory bracelet right now as well for me to show you. I personally quite enjoy this watch, and we'll take a closer look why in just a moment. I'm going to show you the packaging now so we can have a look. Here is the box that it came in. We have an instruction manual and a guarantee. And we have this nice standard box with a cushion and some tags. It's all pretty simple, but for an affordable watch, it's just nice to have the watch itself. Now, my friend has very graciously loaned me this SNK793 for me to unbox. So let's have a look at what's inside. So we have this different style of box, a little bit bigger and more rectangular. Inside, there we go. There's the SNK793. Let's peel off some of these stickers, shall we? And let's take it off the cushion. As you can see, we have that instruction manual poking out from the bottom. I'm going to leave it in there since we've already seen one. Here's the watch on the cushion. We have a different style of bracelets. And we have some stickers as well, so I'll peel these off. And we have a tag. I'll leave it on for now and we'll take it off in a moment. And here it is. There's that gorgeous blue dial that we know of the SNK793. This is a nice guy as well. Definitely a solid Seiko 5. Here they both are. As you can see, they both have a little bit plain yet classy designs. Very elegant with those polished and brushed surfaces. I think these Seiko 5s are both great picks for sporty yet elegant watches. We'll have a closer look in just a moment. Now that we've had a look at some of these watches, let's take a look at where to buy them. You could either buy retail from sites like Amazon, where you can find new or used prices just above $100, or you can buy from the pre-owned market, where you can find deals at or even under $100. Let's just take a look at Amazon for now. We can see for this SNK793 on the Canadian site, the buying options are a pretty high $199 and a more reasonable $124 for a used watch. You can take a look at different dial options as well, such as this white dial version at a more reasonable $116 new and only $103 from new and used options here. So this is a pretty great price if you're interested in picking this one up. There are also some other dial variations such as black and black with red second hands. However, those are quite high on price. I couldn't find the SNXS79 on the Canadian site. However, I did find the S75, which is a gray dial version with gold markers. This one is listed at a pretty high price though, $141 plus $23 in shipping and import fees. So I personally wouldn't be going for this option. I did have a look at the US site as well. Here the prices for the SNK793 and similar options are all just under $100 US, which is great. But for me, factoring in shipping and currency conversion, this becomes more expensive than my Canadian options. However, I did find the Seiko 5 SNXS79, which is the one I currently have. We can see new options from as low as $116 US, which is a pretty good deal, and so I would definitely consider this if you like this particular model. The history of the Seiko 5 is actually quite long and rich. It all started with the first watch to feature as part of the 5 line, the Seiko Sportsmatic 5, released in 1963. The novel, rational design of this watch was widely popular, and so Seiko capitalized off this success to continue developing the Seiko 5 line, including creating innovative clocking devices for the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. There are many factors behind the success of the 5, the main of which was Seiko's proprietary magic lever system. This system was a simple self-winding mechanism that allowed Seiko to deliver automatic watches in a cost-effective and convenient manner in their affordable Seiko 5 watches. They also included complications such as integrated day-date windows in the 3 o'clock position. They also had full water resistance to contribute to the practicality of everyday wear watches. Seiko developed their exterior millimeter standards in order to make sure that their measurements corresponded accurately to those made in Switzerland, and so they had these great designs made with precision. The metal band was an interesting accessory that Seiko 5s added on. While they are known for cutting corners on these metal bands today, they were quite innovative back when leather and nylon straps were the norm. These metal bands are particularly resistant against sweat and water, which made them good choices at the time. Also, shock-resistant performance and adoption of a tough mainspring ensure that these watches continue to perform on an everyday basis. The naming is quite interesting. The 5 in Seiko 5 was originally based on these 5 principles of self-winding, water-resistant mechanism, day-date integrated window in the 3 o'clock position, a crown hidden in the 4 o'clock position, and a masculine design. However, many of these principles have since been broken in certain modern Seiko 5s. However, the history and heritage of that Seiko 5 line lives on through this iconic symbol mark, which we see in today's watches. Here we are with the watches again. Let's run through measurements really quickly. I'll be using my digital calipers to do that. We'll start with the SNXS79. This guy has a case diameter of just under 37 millimeters. A lug-to-lug of 42.5 and a case height of 11.5. The SNK793 will have similar measurements. We have a case diameter also of 37 millimeters, a lug-to-lug of just over 42, and a case height of 10.5. For reference, the SNXS79 has a rather unusual lug width of 19 millimeters. However, I personally just use 18 millimeter straps. You do get that slight gap. However, it is for me worth it just to buy the straps that are available and that make my watch look nice. Plus, it provides a little bit of room for a spring bar tool should you choose to swap your straps out frequently. This guy, on the other hand, has an 18 millimeter lug width, which is a standard and common size and great for finding straps. Alright, let's have a close look at the specifications of these pieces now. They have many things in common, but also a few things that are different. We can see they both have the same flat hard-lex crystal, which is Seiko's proprietary material. We have the same Seiko 5 applied logo and the same text on the dial, which reads automatic 21 joules, as you can see here. They also both have this same day-date indicator at 3 o'clock that is framed in a silver frame. They both have applied hour markers that run all around. However, note that the ones on the SNXS79 are rectangular and loomed. Meanwhile, the ones on the SNK793 are different shapes and also multi-dimensional, with the loom being on the outsides with little dots just around the markers. The hands are also loomed. This is Seiko's proprietary Lumi-Bright loom, which is not bad and is a great feature for an everyday watch if you'll be going around at night. If we look at that sweep of the second hand, it is not particularly smooth, but it's also not particularly rough. This is a beat rate of 21,600 vibrations per hour, which is thanks to the movement that these two watches have in common. The Seiko 7S26C. We have a display case back here, and we also have that display case back here showing that same movement. The 7S26 movement is a great movement that is standard in most Seiko 5s. It is 21 joules and automatic as printed on the dial. A beat rate, as I mentioned, 21,600 vibrations per hour. This one is the C model, which means it is the third generation of 3ABC. This movement is quite good. We have a nice automatic winding if you just give the Seiko a little bit of a shuffle. However, we do get no hacking and no hand winding. The crown operation on these two is the same. They're both at the 4 o'clock. If we pull to the first position, we can adjust that is the second position. This adjusts the time. And if we go back to the first position, we can move one way to adjust the day and the other way to adjust the date. The cases on these are quite different. This one features a more rounded case that is all polished, which, as you can see, does gather some spots from fingerprints and also some scratches from everyday wear. However, it does contribute to a more dressy look. On this case, it's a little more different. We have a polished bezel, however, we have a brushed case. And I think the brush case is an advantage here, as brushing does tend to hide some of the wear and tear of everyday use. Taking a look at this piece, we have a pretty interesting bracelet. It is brushed mostly with some polished pieces in the middle. And we have a pretty nice press clasp, but with quick release pushers like so. This bracelet is still not the best though. We have some rolled links. We have a hollow end link that does have quite a bit of rattle, which is not the best. The bracelet is definitely not better on my Seiko SNXS79. We have an all brush bracelet that does not match a polished watch. And we have the same types of links, except we have no quick release pushers. We just have a simple press clasp, like so. So the watches are quite nice. We have that beautiful sunburst dial, gray on the left and blue on the right. The heads are great, but these bracelets, not so much. You can hear some of that rattle in the background. And so I'd be swapping these out as soon as I can. And I'll show you some straps right now. Here's my SNXS79 on its factory metal bracelet. As you can see, it has great potential to look good on a metal bracelet. But this particular one has brushed end links, which mean they do not integrate at all with the polished case. As such, I prefer to dress this watch either up or down. Here I have it dressed up using leather straps. This guy has a black leather strap right now, which makes it suitable for more formal occasions. On the slightly more casual side, we have a tan ostrich grain leather strap, which is a little more fun. It's dressed down here using a black natal strap with red striping. This gives it a more sporty look. I also have an elastic pass natal strap and an orange line that runs through it to add a dash of color. I like to have a whole lot of fun with colors and natal straps, so here it is on an unconventional purple natal strap, which in my opinion looks quite nice and makes it a little more lively. This is my favorite strap of all. It's a seatbelt natal strap featuring the Gulf racing colors. This looks amazing and is especially suitable as summer is now approaching. These lively, fun colors put a smile on my face every time I look at my wrist. Last, here's the SNK793 on its metal bracelets. This bracelet looks a little bit better than the bracelet on the SNXS79. However, it is still not the best, but its versatility means that you can dress this watch either up or down in similar ways that I dressed the SNXS79. Alright, let's conclude with some strengths and weaknesses. The first obvious strength that you guys can visually see is these watches' versatility. These watches are true everyday watches. You can dress them up, you can dress them down, especially giving them some color like with this strap over here. They also have great finishing on the cases and on those dials. I absolutely adore the sunburst effects that you get with these pieces. You also get a lot for your money at around $100. There aren't a lot of mechanical timepieces at this price range. So getting this 7S26 movement made by a great name like Seiko is definitely a plus. However, it can simultaneously be a minus because you don't get all the benefits of getting a mechanical timepieces. For example, you don't get hacking and you don't get hand winding, so you can't feel the movement at your fingertips. For me personally, this is a big disadvantage because I don't wear my Seiko 5 every day. I wear it maybe once or twice a week, and with that being considered, this watch does run out of power. The power reserve, I believe, is 41 hours, which means that this watch can't last 2 days without being worn. As such, I often have to give it a bit of a Seiko shuffle like that to get it going, and also set the time in order to get it on the wrist as well. Another big minus, obviously, is this bracelet. You can hear it rattling in the back. So this would be the very first thing you do when you get a Seiko is replace this bracelet. That is, unless you really, really like bracelets, then it is wearable, but it's not my recommendation for strap options. But overall, these watches are really great pieces. These, of course, are only 2 of dozens and dozens and dozens of Seiko 5s out there. There are field watches, there are more dressy options, there are more casual options, there are even divers, and so the Seiko 5 line is expanding into almost limitless bounds. So do have a look at the Seiko 5 line, and I'm sure you'll find something that'll pique your interest. All things considered, I think these Seiko 5 watches are a good option for anybody considering entering the world of mechanical timepieces. They could also serve as a viable addition to a growing watch collection. However, it is important to note that these are everyday watches, and so require quite a bit of attention. Also, the bracelets aren't the best, but with a little bit of creativity and a little bit of extra investment, you could turn these pieces into so many different watches. Whether they're dressy, whether they're sporty, whether they're casual, you could turn these Seiko 5s into the piece that suits you best. So overall, great watches, not so great bracelets, but great potential. I look forward to hearing all about your Seiko 5 journeys. What do you think? Are they the best mechanical timepiece at around $100? What are some others that you have experienced that you think should be on the channel? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching the Everyday Watch Collector. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel to help others find our videos as well. It really means a lot to me personally and goes a long way to helping the channel grow. Cheers.